If you want to learn more about how to learn the Serbian language, you've come to the right place. This is the broadcast by Serbian Language Podcast. Today we're going to talk about how to get started learning the Serbian language. Number 1, identify your goal. Remember, your study plan, all that's related to how you're going to learn Serbian is all dependent upon what your goal actually is. Why do you want to learn Serbian? Think about all the reasons for which you want to learn this language. Is it because you want to be able to travel to Serbia and speak with locals? Good reason, right? Is it because you want to be able to one day work and live in Serbia and perhaps get a job? Or do you want to just be able to have basic conversations with your Serbian friends, loved ones, or relatives? So just think about your reasons. So once you have your goal, all right, from there, everything else is going to begin to fall into place. This is when you can begin to start to make a study routine that's going to complement your actual goal. But if you don't have a goal and you haven't been super clear about what your goal is, you're going to feel lost because you're not rooting yourself in the purpose behind what you're attempting to do. Point number 2, remember, it's a process. Okay, Serbian language is unique in that it's very difficult in the beginning. And a lot of people will say, but that's true for every language. But it's more true for Serbian. Give an example of what I mean. So I'm also a Spanish speaker, right? So Spanish language, I feel like if I had to describe it in a visual format, I would say Spanish language is kind of like this. It's like a bell curve. It just kind of, maybe that wasn't a bell curve, but it's like this, okay? The beginning is not that challenging. You learn some verbs, you learn how to conjugate them, and you conjugate one verb. If you want to add a second verb, you just put that verb in the infinitive form and you can begin to sail away with your Spanish. You can start making Spanish sentences in a month in a pretty relaxed fashion because the grammar is not terribly difficult in the beginning, right? But once you want to start getting into the compound subjunctive forms, it starts to get more complicated. Trying to go from intermediate to advanced in Spanish is more challenging. It's not impossible. Anybody can do it. All that challenging means, all that hard means, is that learning is required. That's all that means. So do not be intimidated when you hear challenging or hard. You should be excited because it's going to help you grow. But with Serbian, it's not like Spanish, right? On your very first day in Serbian, I would say, whereas Spanish does this, Serbian's like a rock face, right? You're going to have to put some equipment, strap in to climb up. But the good news about Serbian is that going from absolute beginner to beginner is very, very challenging. But going from beginner to intermediate is not that challenging. And going from intermediate to advanced is even less challenging, which means the very first day you start learning Serbian, that will be the hardest day you've ever had. And you should rejoice in that because that is something to celebrate. Do not get frustrated with the journey. It is a process. If you think you're going to get fluent in Serbian in 2 months, let's be realistic here, okay? You shouldn't even want that to happen, right? You're going to have to, okay, maybe you should want it to happen, but it's not a realistic thing to happen. Not in 2 months, guys. You're going to have to really apply yourself, put some time into it, and over time, it's just going to get easier and easier. And just so you know, it's going to be very difficult in the beginning as you're starting to learn your present tense verb conjugations and things like this. And as you get introduced into the Serbian declension system, it's going to be very difficult to see and experience like the feeling of progress. Trust the process. Trust the process. You are experiencing progress. It just might not be, easy to recognize. But I assure you, you are getting better. And one day, it's going to go click, and you're going to go, oh, so that's how you bring it all together, okay? But it is a process. Point number 3, master the present tense, okay? The Serbian language really builds upon itself. And so you want to have a comprehensive understanding of the present tense. So devote a lot of time to getting all your verb conjugations on point in present tense. And from there, also learn how to make sentences in the present tense utilizing the Serbian declension system. Because this is very important, because as you go into the different tenses like past tense or you get into some moods like the conditional mood, or you go into future tense, you're going to need to have a strong base in the present tense in order to successfully and in a relaxed fashion navigate through the other verb tenses. So I highly recommend just put a dynamic focus on present tense and don't try to get too ahead of yourself, because once you get good there, you can get good everywhere. Point number 4.
Internalize the why.
Particularly as relates to declensions. So what is a declension? People hear this, they're like, well, what is that?
What the heck?
It's basically a means by which, it's a grammatical means by which words get filtered through the declension system to demonstrate and showcase an expression of meaning. So as an example, if I wanted to say, I am Cam, for example, right? Then I would say, I am Cam. If I wanted to say, I'm talking about Cam, now the meaning behind the expression of Cam has changed. Therefore, my name would have to get declined. In this particular instance, I would have to get declined in the 7th case. You would need to decline my name in the 7th case because the meaning of expression that we're trying to get to is what you're talking about. So what are you talking about? Whatever that is, that has to go into the 7th case. So that's kind of sound a little bit tricky in the beginning. I highly recommend you go to Serbian Language Podcast and watch the lesson videos that really explain the declension system and what it's all about, what it exists to express, and the why behind it and how to do it. It is not that bad. It's totally logical. You just need to, again, understand the why behind it, what it's designed to achieve, and then get fluid in the patterns and systems and structures for how to decline words. I'm sure there are other resources out there too. I want to highly encourage you to use any resources that you have, and I highly encourage you to get started, to make time. I think Serbian's a wonderful language, and it would be such a shame if you have an interest to not explore your interest and utilize the resources that are going to motivate you and take you to the next level. Start by just having a great time with the idea that you're going to start learning Serbian. Like, have fun. Get started by motivating yourself, identifying your goals, and staying nice and relaxed and patting yourself on the back, because it is a special thing for you to embark on this kind of language journey. It really is. It's a beautiful thing. You should have fun, and you should be proud of yourself for even having interest. So if you decide to act on your interest, you're obviously taking it to the next level, and that's really, really exciting. And you should really give yourself a lot of credit, and don't put too much pressure on yourself. You don't have to do that. Serbians are not judgmental at all when it comes to foreigners learning their language. So don't put all of this added unnecessary pressure on yourself that's going to steal away the joy from the journey. So learn Serbian and have fun. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give us a big thumbs up. I would love to hear in the comments, are there any reasons why you guys are learning Serbian? Just tell me more about you and what your interests are, because the whole goal here is for all of us to convene and join as a global community around our shared interest in the Serbian language and trying to learn it. Please subscribe to the channel, comment. We want to keep in touch with you, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Hope you're having a great day, and thanks for watching.